Writer Joe Bob Briggs once wrote that David Cronenberg has been making one long film his whole career, and it's certainly true that his commitment to drawing his obsessions out of his mind, the way they might have pulled your brain out through your nose during mummification, has never wavered. He digs around in the open sore of consciousness with a scalpel, never truly satisfied that he knows its contours. After 1988's Dead Ringers, he stopped writing original screenplays and turned to cult authors for inspiration, hoping to mine their grotesque nightmares for further fuel for his existential clinical cinema. No author added a more perfect exhibit to his ongoing celluloid museum of imperfection than J.G. Ballard. The British writer's twin fixations on celebrity and the visceral carnage that results when man and machine collide prompted Cronenberg to create the perfect instrument of upset and provocation. When Ballard first submitted his 1973 novel Crash, his publisher refused it and suggested he seek psychiatric help. When Cronenberg wrote his adaptation of the book in the mid-90s, his agent warned him it would ruin his career. Turns out he was onto something. It was skewered at its Cannes premiere, prompting walkouts and disgust from jurors. The reviews ranged from appalled to confused, and it's still not on Blu-ray 20 years later. Very few saw the film for what it was. In Crash, passion has been chased away after years of lovers dully going through the motions of their sex lives, represented by the non-stop traffic surrounding the action at all times. James Spader plays a man who can no longer find pleasure in his work or in the cold, mechanical love he makes with his wife and any interested passerby. It's only when he accidentally crashes his car into oncoming traffic, killing a man in the process, that he discovers there is yet a way to live erotically. He quickly finds a small but ardent group of cultists who understand the hidden link between car crashes and sex, and he falls under their spell. Fittingly, Crash feels like a feature-length incantation, a drone rock lullaby, urging us to allow each wicked sight the potential to change us, the way that every sex scene changes the characters and the course of the film. If we're afraid, why? If we're disgusted, why? The film drives headlong towards death in search of erotic identity, to see if we can push beyond our battered frames, to be so at peace with the world we created but can't control that we could let it destroy us, or at least our conventional morality, which, like the automobiles, are one of our fabrications. Spader's sudden gear shift leaves him bewildered at first, but he doesn't fight the sensational potential. Every human eventually finds themselves at a crossroads with regard to their sexual identity, down which lies a host of dizzying options. Crash drives headlong towards the unknown, and each blown red light signifies the destruction of falsely and flimsily erected boundaries. If you're still in your chair, then you're in Cronenberg's passenger seat. At the time of its release, the Canadian director said, "I see technology as being an extension of the human body. It's inevitable that it should come home to roost." And Crash presents the final step in his imagining our co-evolution with technology, our beautiful, twisted fusion with our creation. The things we designed to make our lives easier are crushed, murdered to foster our awakening. Lingered over by Peter Sushitsky's camera, with the reverent horror documentarians usually reserve for the remains of the victims of Pompeii. These are sacred objects, and by penetrating our bodies with them, they bring us closer to divine self-awareness. The characters practically buzz with excitement at the prospect of communion with the holy wreckage. The world looks like a never-ceasing traffic jam when you know that ecstasy is within your grasp. That it might kill you to grab it only makes the feeling stronger.
Skapar vi en sorts mikrokosmos i laboratoriet. Men det är aldrig glömt att denna mikrokosmos är en begränsad modell som endast framkallar det enklaste tecken av vad som kan hända i verkligheten. På liknande sätt är vi tvungna att
Crash remains the strongest, freest, and most giving chapter of the long text Cronenberg has made for us during his 74 years. Here, unequivocally, he loves us, even though we're always crashing in the same car.